There are 7 modifications I make to every new bike. Not one of them has to do with protection. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. If you haven't done it yet, do that thing down below. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 7 modifications I make to every new to me bike that I get. And like I said in the intro, not a single modification I make when I first get a bike has anything to do with protection. It's more about making it functional and usable right away, the way I want to use it, and be able to start doing longer rides, even if they're only day rides, or having the possibility of just throwing a little bit of luggage on the back, but maybe not a full-blown setup. So maybe I could do some credit card camping and do some travel. But that's really what the whole purpose is getting it set up the way I want, to be a little bit more comfortable for me and to serve the purpose of being able to do longer rides. So let's get started on the modifications that I make on my bike. All right, the first modification I make to my bike is a tank bag. Without exception, I like having a tank bag. It gives me a place to put my camera, if I want to put my phone in there, and just miscellaneous things I like to have, snacks, whatever. But I really like having a tank bag, so that's usually the first thing that I put on. Now, with the tank bag, one of the things that I put in that is a power outlet, so it has multiple charging ports. And the reason I do that is I use an older phone for navigation, and I put that up on a GPS mount. So I power that up, and then if I have my regular phone with me and it needs power, I can drop it in the tank bag, power it up. But I also carry a lot of cameras that need batteries, so I can power all that up. I have a headlamp that's rechargeable, just a variety of rechargeable devices. And so with the power outlet, it makes it easier to do that. I don't have to add extra outlets to the front of the bike. So I find that to be very useful. I do that with every bike. The other thing that I do with every bike is I put a foot extender on the kickstand. Without question, within the first week or two of having a bike, I put that on because I know I'm going to be in places like this that have soft dirt, and I don't want my bike sinking in and falling over. I don't want to have to go try to find a piece of wood or a rock to put under it every single time. I did today because it's quite soft, but that is something else I do pretty quickly, is get that done. A modification up front that I make pretty quickly has to do with the windscreen. Most of the bikes that I have been acquiring either have really short windscreens or they're just not quite fit for my height. And my helmet has stuff hanging off of it, has a camera, it has communications hanging off of it, makes it a bit louder. So I'm trying to do everything I can to reduce the buffeting that I experience. So windscreen in one form or fashion is something that I modify pretty quickly. Underneath here, you can't see it, but another modification that I make pretty quickly is I put a tail rack on. I find tail racks to be extremely useful, and because I like to carry a tail bag, which is another one of my modifications, is I put that on pretty much straight away and then get the tail bag on right away as well, because I'll carry snacks, food, any extra camera pieces that doesn't fit in my tank bag I'll put in here. I also put a rain jacket in here, just some miscellaneous stuff that just doesn't quite fit up front. Being able to put a tail bag on just makes it a little bit more functional for those longer day trips and maybe some credit card camping until I get full luggage on. The last modification I make to every bike is a phone mount of some sort. I use cell phones for navigation. I have an older cell phone that I mount up, and that way I'm not as concerned if it gets beat up, if the camera sensor stops working. It's strictly used for navigation. Now, I have a tip that I'll go through here real quick on how I've mounted this up. I really like the GPS mount bars and just one of the cheap little aluminum pucks that you can use to mount that up. That was a quick down and dirty first 7 modifications I make to every new to me bike that I get, whether it be brand new or used. I make these modifications on every single one of them because of the functionality that it offers. So hopefully you found this useful. If you're in the market for a new bike, maybe you have a new bike, maybe you have an older bike, but you hadn't thought about adding these and some of the functionality. Hopefully that'll give you an idea of some things to try. If you have any modifications you make to your bike when you first get it, leave that in the comments below. I'd be interested. I would be interested to see what those are. Maybe it's something I would like to do to my bike, and I would really appreciate that. So thanks for watching. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there.